friends, I welcome all of you in the webinar series under the Eat Right initiative of FSSAI, supported by Herbalife Nutrition. Herbalife Nutrition is committed to create a healthy ecosystem by creating awareness and providing a better health solutions. The topic for today's webinar is Millets as Medicine. The speaker for today's session is Ms. Shubhangi Singh. Shubhangi is an architect turned entrepreneur. During the recent years of her work in the sustainable constructions, her mother became unwell and she saw a significant gap between the food and health. This is when she got inspired by the idea of bringing our ancient grains back to our plate in the most genuine and natural way. She started her research on millets about 5 years ago when she witnessed the threat to the lifestyle diseases in almost every second household and introduced farm to plate model of only millet-based products. Today, under her brand Golden Millets, they are providing around 60 plus SKUs of only millet-based ready to cook and ready to eat segments like pasta, noodles, etc. As she connects over 500 farmers and 150 women farmers across India, upskilling them on the root level to sow minor millets again and work on a global sustainable development goals such as no hunger, right to nutrition, better climate, good air quality, soil health, no malnutrition. She is working on many national and international platforms. So now friends, let's welcome Shubhangi Singh for her speech. Over to you. Thank you.
So let's start with switching to millets. Now everyone has a lot of doubt and about millets. Should we switch to millets? What exactly millets are? And how did they just started coming up in the recent time? And why is every second nutritionist talking about millets? Well, we'll be discussing all of these in our presentation today. Now, when I talk about healthy food, all of us have a lot of questions, and not everybody has a lot of information. Not everybody has a lot of knowledge about healthy food, and not necessarily that everybody should have a lot of knowledge, right? So, talking about that, we'll be talking about what healthy lifestyle is, what healthy food is, what alternatives do we have, is this available anywhere, and what really our nature gave us, right? So, this is me, Shibhagi. Let's start with the presentation. Today, we'll be talking about sufficient and balanced nutrition. Well, we all talk about, we have to be healthy, we have to be very conscious about what we eat, we have to choose wisely before eating. We can't just go on and have anyways water or anyways food, and of course lifestyle diseases, which is directly indirectly related to what we are talking today. We'll be talking about nutrition of old times. Well, I don't remember any of my grandfathers saying that, except the genetically passed on diseases. Except that, I never heard them saying that, they feel weak, or they have pain over here, or do they have to have undergo a lot of youth crisis that we are going through these days. Every other day we feel we are not very energetic, we are not very pumped up with our work. And the last topic is, of course, millet. What exactly are they? They are ancient grains, and what, why, and how they are between us. Now, talking about sufficient and balanced nutrition. Now, as I said before, do we really need to have food nutrition knowledge? How balanced is it that we think our food is? And do we really measure before our eating? We won't be, of course, doing this every time. Oh, how much of protein grams of protein are we having in a day? How much of a cup should we eat? How much of particular fiber should go to our body? Of course not. I think I think food is something that really requires art, and it has to have taste, and it has to have proper nutrition, even if it's smaller in quantity. Not everybody has the same appetite, right? Now, everybody has their own energy requirements. Now, we can't generalize this term saying everybody should have, at least minimum this much of protein. Of course, it's a matter of your body and how balanced you are. Now, when I talk about balanced, is it the this where we are watching lots of fibers and a lot of legumes and everything, or are we talking about a balance like that where we are talking about, having everything in hand and not understanding anything and having it? Talking about one very important topic that we'll be covering today is about our children, the future of upcoming generation. Really, how much of educated they are on nutrition and knowledge about them, or what they like or what they don't. Of course, there are a lot of junk food out there. Once they are addicted to that taste, to that feel, to that texture of eating burgers and pizzas and very oily food, then we look out to them, they are obese and a lot of health issues. Of course, that's not how it should have happened before. But now, when it's already there, how to really find a way. Now, when I spoke about health, there is, of course, a problem to that issue, right? We talk about lifestyle diseases, whether we talk about diabetes, breast cancers, so much of uric acid. These days, liver is not clean. We have kidney stones. All of these are not really just because of our genetic issues, or are they just because of the air? No, it is directly, indirectly related to the food we eat. Whether you believe it or not, according to studies, they say about 98% of what we eat is important to know what our really body feels like, right? Of course, what we eat is what we are, and that's not just my saying, it's a general saying, and I really believe in that. But what really is the solution to all of this? I know there are so many lifestyle diseases. I have lost my friends and friends and family because of diabetes and BP, and a lot many diseases that could have been better if there was an alternative. My own mother was very much ill because of wheat some years back, just before when I started all of this. And to be very frank, I was really disturbed, saying, what exactly was the difference? Why is she like that? Why is the health an issue in the life? Because we are eating healthy. We eat a lot of balanced diet. We eat a lot of vegetables. But what exactly is that one thing that is disturbing the complete system? And that's how I did the reverse engineering, or the reverse research on the food that we are eating. And I saw, okay, there are so many food that didn't exist before, but now they do. And there are a lot of oily things, there are a lot of preservatives in that, there are a lot of issues how they are sown and grown. And I was, forced to think about what our forefathers used to eat. And that's how I got the answer that it's millets. Now, you might be asking, what are millets? Well, millets, if I specifically talk to you, discuss you, or make you understand, they are nothing but the real grains, the ancient grains that are available by the nature. Now, millets have an ample of energy, ample of nutrition value, and ample of so many things that really give an instant, brush to our daily lifestyle. They make your body lighter. They are gluten free. They are much more healthier, and fiber wise, we'll be discussing a lot more in the coming slides. Now, when I talk about what millet types are, you might have heard so many of them, especially jowar, bajra, and ragi. Now, when I speak to you about kodra and sama, foxtail millet, barnyard, brown top, all these millets are minor millets. Now, in this complete thing, I think you might have heard at least two or three names, and you might have eaten them as well. Now, talking particularly about one particular millet, which is barnyard. Now, every second household in India keeps fasts, right? Either they are in in a festival, or either they are just to detox your body, or either they are just to because you have a lot of devotion, and you keep it every Wednesday or Friday or Thursday, according to the people and according to the religion. Everybody has eaten one or the other thing, but particularly barnyard, when I speak, it's samak ke chawal in Hindi. Now everybody knows that samak ke chawal are eaten in fast. Now to really take a step back and observe, you know the complete day in fast, you empty stomach, there's so much of acid in your body, then why really has our scripture said us to take samak ke chawal? There's a big reason. They are alkaline in nature. They give you instant power. These are not something that science can explain you. This is something that you feel every fast, right? Similarly, all of these millets can be had in any of the fast. You might have had amaranthus, you might have eaten quinoa, you might have eaten oats. Now, all of these have ample energy, ample nutrition. That is all right, but how? Which millet has what, right? Of course, there's so many questions that you might be having. Now, when I move forward about millets, I before anything else, I want to say one thing. We have to have sustainable food, which is healthy, and of course, it has to be delicious. What is food without being tasty, right? It has to be tasty. It has to look good. It has to have smell good to be so tempting that we can eat. Now, I've put a picture over here of pizza, right? But do you consider that as healthy? Or if I say the lady at the right, she's eating peanut butter and cranberries on a bread, you consider that healthy? Of course, they're delicious, but I don't see them crossing those points about sustainability or healthy. Yes, they can be. We'll talk about this later, but keep this in mind that there is a solution to sustainable, healthy, and delicious food. Moving forward, this is a master sheet that I've created for all of you. Now, all the answers about mothers, what to give their kids, expecting mothers, working women, working husbands, what to give, kids who are not really do not really eat much of the food. How do you really give them, and what should you give them in what quantity, right? There's so many millets, but we'll be comparing all these grains all together today, just to make it a little bit easy. Now let's talk about finger millet over here, right? These are all the millets. This is our wheat and paddy at the down. We'll be talking about finger millet specifically because we'll be starting by it. Now you see calcium, right? We talk about calcium in milk. We talk about calcium in a lot of food, and we tend to see, oh, there's not much of calcium in the nutrition of our kids, or you can't give this to a lot of elders. Elders tend to have lactose intolerance these days. No, not everybody can have milk. Then what's the next point, right? What's the next thing that we can turn up to? That is finger millet. Look at the amount every small millet has. Look at the amount, how much of rice and how much of wheat has. It's just 39.4 grams in 100 grams. It's right. Now when we talk about finger millet, it has about 344. Shouldn't we opt a little bit of finger millet that is absorbed about 96% by our liver naturally, to give us the purest form of calcium? Similarly, we have so many other things. Talking about the fiber, now everybody is fighting about fiber. What really fiber does in the body? Fiber goes and cleans up your body. It cleanses some of the millets. They clean your digestive system. Some of them would clean your liver. Some of them would target your heart, right? And some of them, surprisingly, even bone marrow. Now, talking about the scientific reasons why this is happening is because of the fiber level. You see, all of the millets have, especially look at the wheat and the rice that we eat. We say we have to have good fiber food, and that comes from vegetables. But what about grains? If wheat has 1.2, are these five millets, which are known as positive millets, have more than about 8, 9, 12. Of course, they are going to do wonders on our body, right? When we compare these small issues, nutrition values, of course, they're going to make a lot of changes in the body. Let's talk about a little bit of protein. Of course, we are so many of us are protein based knowledge oriented, and we are talking about protein and a lot of protein for kids. Well, in a study I read about kids, right, who are just, well, let's take about just bonds. From just bonds to being 5 years, they have to have a proper protein intake. If they don't, the complete development of the body and of the brain, of the bones, it really doesn't happen the way it should be. They're deficient about, they easily can be immunized with any of the diseases. They can have issues with the liver, issues with a lot of particular diseases that are not even existing. Nowadays kids have obesity, even if they're not eating much, they have obesity. Even if they're not very eating a lot of sugar, they have breathlessness, they can't run. These are the things that every day people approach to me and say, my kid is a gluten free, they're allergic to gluten. Why is this change happening? That is because the protein intake in our body has reduced simultaneously and on a vast scale. Not everybody is aware. Now, of course, there are non-veg options that you can eat. But what about others that really want an alternative and really want something that can balance the complete diet system? Of course, there's the answer is millets. Now, talking about the protein, they have about 8 to 12 to 13% of proteins naturally. Why do you expect any of the other grains or any other food, especially the animal based food, for any of these proteins are given naturally to us to behave in such a system that they can do wonders with our growth and immunity and a lot more things. Now, talking about small minor millets, minor multivitamins in our food, look at the sodium level, look at the potassium level. If we talk about the potassium level, it's in the lowest. Magnesium level is in the lowest. Zinc is in the most, right? Iron is the highest in little millet. Now, there are so many lactating women. There's so many men who really need a lot of iron, and some of them get iron deficiencies. Why not incorporate millets in your diet and see the difference? I assure you, within 15 or 20 days of switching to millets, you'll see a difference in your body. You'll feel lighter. Your blood sugar is going to be balanced. You are going to be a much more energetic person. You're going to sleep properly. You'll have a lot, changes in the complete, your production level, your mind capacity. You're going to have a lot of changes in not just just about changing your food. It's about changing the complete system of your everyday life. We have to incorporate these in your everyday meal. Now, when I let's move forward. Why are millets so important? So I've put up a little bit of picture so that you know what the grain plant looks like and how they can be actually workable for the complete industry, right? This is just for the depiction of your knowledge. Some you might have seen, some you might have not seen. When we compare millets to wheat, rice, and corn, it has a lot of more nutrition, and that's why it's known as nutri cereals. Government has said it as nutri cereals. WHO has announced the next year as International Year of Millets 2023. I know there was a time when we started International Day of Yoga, right? Now we have International Year of Millet. Do you understand the weightage of this particular grains? The complete year is dedicated to millets. Why? Why is government behind? Of course they're gonna lose a lot of um, business with the wheat. As you can see in these days news, there's a lot of issues with the wheat because of the GMO, because of the chemicals that they put, because of the urea that they're putting. Of course it has too much glycemic index that can give you hell lot of issues, health issues. When I talk about issues, I'm talking about BP that is directly connected to wheat. When I talk about sugar, it's directly connected to wheat and rice and a lot many things. Now, when we talk about millets, it's light, it's gluten free, it's good for heart, it's good, it's lower glycemic index. Sugar patients can eat it easily. If you want to lose weight, you can eat it easily and lower down your cholesterol. If you have liver issues, of course, I told you it has a lot of fiber. It will cleanse your body. It will start cleaning your body from your body, then put and inject all of these nutrition in your body, and you'll be more energetic, and a lot of immunized feeling will be given away, right? So moving forward, now you'll be asking me what can we make of millets. I've told you what the grains are. I've told you how important it is for your kids. Now everybody asks me, ma'am, millets to theek hai, what can we make out of this? I say anything. Don't treat millets as anything else rather than normal cereals. Of course, they have a little bit of more fiber. You can add a little bit more water in it, but it is similar to any other food you're eating. You can make porridges. You can make the purest form of vitamin B12, which is ambali. You might have heard about fermented dishes. If you're really looking for gut cleaning, you should go for ambali in the night or in the morning as a smoothie. Nothing else. Mix in fruits in it. You love the fiber. It's gonna make you happy the complete day. When you talk about dinners, you can have momos made of ragi. You can make chapatis, parathas out of ragi, barnyard, or any of these cereal grains. There are noodles available in the market. There is pasta available about in the market, which is made from millets. There is milk. You can make easily almond millet milk at home for your kids. Freeze it, cool down, and make milkshakes out of it. Make ragi laddus instead of energy bars that you eat outside. Of course they are healthy. I'm not saying energy bars and all are not healthy. You can make them at home easily with little bit of grains. You just power. You can get flour, you can get rava easily in the market nowadays. Availability is not an issue. Switching is. Of course, not every one of us would be needing all of these dishes, but of course we really need to understand that these grains can do wonders in your body, right? And how to incorporate you. There are pohas available. You can get fiber pohas. You can get upmas. They can easily be made at your home. You really don't need an instant mix for this. And they are, to be very frank, they are easy and very quick to make. Now when I talk about smoothies or pancakes, or even for that matter idli, use the same process how you use for rice. Use the same process for noodles how you make for normal noodles. You can make gluten-free cakes out of them. You can use it for pakoras. Make jawar pakoras at home. It's less of glycemic index. Air fried. So I wanted to give you a brief. You can. It's open world for the kids. Kids always say, "Mama, we need something healthier." Have you listened to that ever? No, they say, Mama, we want something tastier. No, of course, when they need tastier, you can have so many varieties giving them. They won't know it's a barnyard poha, or it's a brown top dosa, or it's a quinoa dosa for that matter, or a quinoa dokla, or a pancake. Give them what they want, but in a healthier way. You can air fry them. You can have so many dishes prepared for from these millets that are easily available. Treat them as simple as the normal grains. Don't treat them something else. They are our ancient grains given by our nature, sustainable. And to be very frank, in the future there are only quite a few places where there's going to be a lot of water. There's a scarcity of water. Now we're watching every day in news. There's poor soil condition, right? We don't have proper air quality. Now, how do you really find a place where you can exist in a healthier way? Millets and something can work reverse on these. Millets are drought resistant. They work on the climate betterment. They bring in a lot of good air. They work on the soil quality. They work on reversing the complete soil nature. Now, when we're talking about millets, you can see how from farm to your plate, it's giving you so many good things, right? So why not switch it?